Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm going to continue on with my squat series and I'm going to talk about a hamstring stretch. So in case you don't know, the hamstrings are the muscles that run down the back of your leg here. They go from below your knee to up above your hip. When you start getting lower into your squat, if your hamstrings are really tight, it's going to limit how deep you can go into your squat. So the tighter your hamstrings are, the more shallow your squat's going to be. So there's a few key things you need to remember when stretching your hamstrings that are going to help you get a better stretch. So for starters, in order to get a proper hamstring stretch, you want to hinge from just your hips. You don't want to bend your back, okay? Bending your back, bending your hips. So a good way to find your baseline is put your hands in the crease of your hip and bend forward, and you'll feel where that crease develops. That's where your hips are. And to keep that crease and keep your back from arching, you're going to keep your hands there and think about trying to pinch your hands between your pelvis and your upper leg, and that'll help you find your crease. So the easiest, simplest place to start for a hamstring stretch is just a simple forward bend. Okay, again, not rounding the back over, keeping the back straight and hinging at the hips. Go until you find a little bit of stretch in the back of your legs. You may also feel this in your calves down here. Okay, and just hold that for, the longer you hold it, the better you're going to get. So a minute 30 to 2 minutes is a good place to start. If it's hard for you to hold this position, you can grab an item here. I got a bucket here. I can put my hands on the bucket to take a little tension off my back and make it easier to hold this position. Okay, this is the simplest way to do a hamstring stretch. A few other variations that I like to do a single leg hamstring stretch. So what I'll do for that one is I'll put one foot out in front, bend my back knee. So in this case, I got my right foot forward, left foot back, and I'm going to still maintaining that hinge at the hip and keeping the back up. I'll hinge forward and bring my chest towards my knee. Again, keeping the spine upright. The reason I like doing a single leg stretch like that is because, like everybody, I have one leg that's tighter than the other. My right leg is a lot tighter than my left leg. So it lets me isolate my leg and work a little bit more on the one that's extra tight. You can do a similar stretch with an item, a table, a chair, something like that. You can put your foot up on top here and you can do the same thing. As you get more flexible, you can bring the item higher and higher or find higher items to get a better stretch. Okay? And obviously, you're going to switch up. You want to get both sides if you're doing single leg. Again, about 90 seconds to 2 minutes is what you want to hold those. That's going to give your tissues enough of a stimulus that they're going to adapt and start to lengthen. Another option, instead of holding it for 90 seconds to 2 minutes straight, you can do repetitions, like 10 seconds on your right leg, 10 seconds on your left leg, and go back and forth like that for multiple repetitions until it adds up to a few minutes. You can find somewhere in the medium and hold it for 30 seconds on one side and 30 seconds on the other side. Play around and see what works. If you want to add a little bit of extra work to it, you can do a contraction. So this is a little bit more advanced stretch, and just a disclaimer, if you do it this way, it will probably make you more sore than just a plain static stretch. So this is a way to use your body's natural receptors to get more stretch by kind of gaming the system a little bit. So the way this works is you're going to go until you find a decent stretch, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to push my heel down into this bucket. Okay, you have to be careful that you don't hyperextend your knee when you do this, but gently, with a little bit of force, push your heel down into whatever your heel's on, and you'll feel the stretch intensify a little bit. Hold that for just a couple seconds, and then relax. Okay, if you want to take it one step further, You can come down into the stretch, push the heel down into the bucket, and this time when I relax, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the stretch deeper. So I'm going to relax, and now I have a little bit more range of motion, and then I can hold that for 10 or 15 seconds and then relax. So there's a few different options there for how to stretch your hamstrings, and there's a few different ways to take it from a simple static stretch to a more active stretch to involve your muscles' receptors and get some extra stretch. Again, the more active the stretch, the more sore you will probably be in the following days. So give it a try. Hope it helps you, and happy squatting.